When you think about movies and how much goes into producing them, you've probably asked yourself, how do they manage to get everything to fall into place so perfectly that I get to witness the cinematic masterpiece that is Sharknado 256? Well, sometimes it doesn't always turn out so perfect, which is why in today's video I will be showing you 5 movies that underwent massive changes in production midway through filming, with a nice little dishonorable mention, just because I felt like it. The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys is a 1987 horror comedy film directed by Joel Schumacher. The story revolves around 2 brothers, Michael and Sam, who moved to the fictional coastal town of Santa Clara, California with their mother Lucy after her divorce. The town has a reputation for being the murder capital of the world due to a series of mysterious disappearances. Michael becomes enamored with a local girl named Star and starts hanging out with a group of bikers led by David. Unbeknownst to Michael, David and his gang are actually vampires. As Michael gets further involved with the gang, he starts undergoing a transformation into a vampire himself. Sam, his younger brother, becomes suspicious of the strange consequences in the town and begins investigating with the help of 2 comic book store employees, the Frog Brothers, who claim to be vampire hunters. The group learns that in order to save Michael from becoming a full-fledged vampire, they must find and defeat the head vampire, which turns out to be someone they didn't initially suspect. But what if I told you this isn't how the movie was initially supposed to turn out? The original director was supposed to be Richard Donner, the director of the movie The Goonies, and much like The Goonies, The Lost Boys was supposed to feature a cast of 13 to 14-year-old vampires, with the Frog Brothers characters actually set to be 8-year-old scouts. But due to the fact that Donner had to pull out and focus on other projects, the eventual director, Joel Schumacher, took directive control of the movie and felt that the plot could use some retooling. So Joel brought in screenwriter Jeffrey Boehm to retool the script by aging up the characters to make the film more adult and include darker concepts. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Rogue One, a Star Wars story is a 2016 science fiction film set in the Star Wars universe. The movie is a standalone installment that takes place just before the events of the original 1977 film Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. The story follows Jen Erso, a skilled young woman with the ties to the Rebel Alliance. Her father, Galen Erso, is coerced by the Galactic Empire to help build the Death Star, a powerful space station with destructive capabilities. After being separated from her family, Jin grows up to be a rebellious and resourceful individual. When the Rebel Alliance learns about the Death Star and its potential to bring catastrophic destruction, they recruit Jin to lead a covert mission to steal the Death Star's plans. These plans contain a vulnerability that could allow the Alliance to find a way to destroy the massive weapon. Jin assembles a diverse team of individuals, including Captain Cassian Andor, a Rebel Alliance officer, and K2SO, a reprogrammed Imperial droid. Together, they face danger, betrayal, and challenging moral decisions as they strive to retrieve the Death Star plans from the Imperial facility. The movie builds up to an intense climax where the team engages in desperate battle against overwhelming odds to transmit the plans to the Rebel Alliance, setting the stage for the events of A New Hope. However, director Gareth Edwards, who I have my own personal grudge against, mainly due to the fact that he abandoned work on the second Godzilla film to work on this movie, turned in a rather lackluster initial cut that dissatisfied the all-powerful Disney executives, leading to over 30 scenes either being retooled or reshot entirely. Remember meeting Jin, Cassian, and Bodhi? Well, all those scenes were included in the reshoots to better flesh out the main story. While the overall plot remained the same, it's hard to say that it's anything close to the original cut after having undergone so many reshoots. The Emperor's New Groove. The Emperor's New Groove is a 2000 animated comedy film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation. I think I'm starting to notice a trend here. The movie is a unique take on the traditional Disney princess/prince narrative, focusing on humor and adventure. The story revolves around Cusco, a young, self-absorbed emperor of the Incan Empire. He is incredibly vain and cares little for the well-being of his subjects. Cusco's advisor Yzma plots to overthrow him with the help of her dim-witted but good-hearted henchman Kronk.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Yzma's plan is to turn Cusco into a llama backfires and Cusco ends up far from the palace. He crosses paths with Pacha, a kind-hearted llama herder. With Pacha's help, Cusco embarks on a journey to return to his palace and regain his human form. As they journey together, Cusco undergoes a transformation in his personality. He learns humility, empathy, and the value of friendship. Meanwhile, Yzma continues her attempts to seize power, leading to comical situations and hilarious interactions between the characters. The Emperor's New Groove is known for its fast-paced humor, slapstick comedy, and modern irreverent style, but one of the 2 original directors of this movie didn't want it to be that way. The original directors of this movie were Mark Dindal, who previously worked on The Little Mermaid and Aladdin, and Roger Allers, who was fresh off the making of The Lion King. The title was originally supposed to be named Kingdom of the Sun, along with Allers wanting to make the movie akin to the likes of Pocahontas and The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which didn't do too well at the box office. Now, as much as I would have liked to see Cusco and Llama Form singing The Colors of the Wind, Disney had other ideas in mind, leading to the exit of Allers on the project and leaving us with the gem that is The Emperor's New Groove, Sleeping Beauty. This is really just turning into a Disney list, isn't it? I wonder if there's ever been a movie that Disney has liked on its first draft. You know, probably not. Sleeping Beauty is a classic animated film produced by Walt Disney and released in 1959. It is based on the fairy tale of the same name by Charles Perrault. The story centers around Princess Aurora, who is cursed by the evil fairy Maleficent. On her 16th birthday, Aurora is to prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel and fall into an eternal sleep, only to be awakened by true love's kiss. In an effort to protect Aurora, the good fairy Flora alters the curse so that Aurora will instead fall into a deep sleep until she is awakened by the kiss of her true love. To ensure Aurora's safety, the three good fairies, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, raise her in a hidden cottage, keeping her true identity a secret. However, on her 16th birthday, Aurora, who is known as Briar Rose, meets a handsome prince named Philip in the forest, not realizing his true identity. Maleficent discovers Aurora's whereabouts and lures her to a forbidden spinning wheel, where she pricks her finger and falls into a deep slumber. The fairies put the entire kingdom to sleep as well to protect Aurora. Philip, now aware of Aurora's true identity and determined to break the curse, battles his way to Maleficent's castle. With the fairies' help, he reaches Aurora's bedside and awakens her with the kiss of true love. The curse is broken and the kingdom awakens from its slumber. Now, I know all that sounded like a lot, but the curse placed on Aurora actually lasted for 100 years. With this, it was originally planned to fit scenes into the movie to represent those 100 years, but the production team decided ain't nobody got time for that. The relationship between Aurora and Philip was also supposed to be beefed up with scenes of Aurora and Philip dancing in the forest and even going on a scavenger hunt together. But instead of including all that and making a more meaningful relationship, the production staff decided, let's just have them run into each other in the forest. How romantic, just meeting strange people in the forest. Dishonorable mention to the 2020, originally 2017 movie, The New Mutants, a movie that midway through production was acquired by the sticklers at Disney, who once again decided a movie wasn't good enough, and in this case, they were right, only they didn't make it any better. The issue with using child stars to headline your movie is that child stars eventually grow up, making it a 2-year production period, basically a death sentence for any type of reshoots after plopping this load of garbage together in 2020. None of the reshoots were able to be used due to continuity errors, and we are here left with the worst thing to ever come out of the MCU universe besides maybe this. So far, I've talked about movies that had scenes reshot and changes in style from musical to fast-paced comedy, and just simply cutting out scenes for being too long. But what if I told you there was a movie that was completely scrapped for a whole new movie? Exorcist: The Beginning. Exorcist: The Beginning is a 2004 horror film directed by Renny Harlin. It serves as a prequel to the iconic 1973 film The Exorcist. The movie explores the earlier life of Father Lancaster Marin, set in the years following World War II. The story follows Father Marin, played by Stellan Skarsgård. Yes, the father of Bill Skarsgård, who you might recognize more with all of his makeup on, a former archaeologist who is now a priest. He is called to a remote archaeological site in East Africa where a mysterious ancient church has been unearthed. As he investigates the church's origins and the strange occurrences surrounding it, he becomes embroiled in a battle against a powerful demonic force. As Marin delves deeper into the site's history, he uncovers a dark past involving a fallen priest who committed heinous acts. This discovery leads him to confront his own inner demons and doubts about his fate. The malevolent presence within the church becomes increasingly active, causing havoc and possession among the locals. Marin collaborates with Dr. Sarah and a British soldier, Major Cranville, in an attempt to confront the evil force and perform an exorcism. The film explores themes of faith, the evil, and the psychological toll of confronting supernatural horrors. You may have noticed that I said this movie was directed by Renny Harlin, and it was, at least the final version of it was. Originally, the head director of the film was Paul Schrader, who was going for a more psychological movie that wasn't overflowing with blood and violence, but much like the fates that befell the other movies on this list, the producers weren't very happy with that. So after handing him his good luck on your future endeavors papers, he was effectively removed from the project. After having basically created an entire movie, the producers were so dissatisfied with the final project they brought on Renny Harlin and then completely reshot the entire film and came out with the movie we have today. Well, don't worry, you Paul Schrader fanboy, I know you're out there somewhere. His original production was later released under the title Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, after Harlan's version kinda sucked. But there's 5 movies, including one dumpster fire, that changed a lot during production. If you knew all 6 of these experienced difficulties during productions, let me know it in the comments below. If you learned anything new in this video, also let me know that as well. If you have any other suggestions for videos you would like to see in the future, drop them down in the comments below and I'll shout you out. Speaking of which, shout out to my lovely girlfriend for suggesting this video. If you like videos of all sorts of movie related content, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It lets me know that I'm doing something right. But until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day and I hope you all stay safe out there and I'll see you in the next one.
With all the colors of the wind, can you paint with all the colors of